it's Lisa Mendoza here, and it's time for me to make a cover for my A5 that is in my Planners Anonymous melody cover. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Canva. I'm going to do this in Canva, and I went ahead and I selected just a blank page, a custom size, because my A5 paper is 5 3/4 wide by 8 2/4 tall. I went ahead and I added 1/4 of an inch to each side, and I think that'll be enough. So it's just slightly larger, just 1/8 of an inch on each side, larger than my planner paper that's inside. And I just realized something. It does need to hang wider because on the right-hand side, oh, yes, because on the right-hand side, I needed to cover the dividers. So I'm just going to do a quick measurement here, and I probably want it to extend um, about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and change this. You can see right here, it says Untitled Design 6 inches by 8.5 inches. So I'm going to change it to 6.75 by 8.5. So I'm going to resize right here, and I'm going to say custom, and I'm going to say right here, 6.75 by 8.5, and maybe I want to make it a little bit taller to accommodate my dashboards or bookmarks. Do I? Yeah, I think I want it to be a no, no. I think it's fine. I think that's fine. If I need to adjust, I will. Okay, so I do want to widen it a little bit though, so I'm kind of glad I remembered that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue, and it's just going to resize this design, just like this. Okay, so it made it a little bit wider. So now what I want to do is I want to go to my folders because I've uploaded various Planners Anonymous creative kits. So I'm going to click here on my folders, and I'm going to go to Planners Anonymous and I want to see all my folders. So originally I thought, okay, chapter 8 creative kit just came out, so maybe I want to create with that. However, because I'm starting July of 2024 with chapter 1, I think I want to go ahead and make a matching cover, maybe for each month. I know that sounds crazy, but you know, we got to get our arts and crafts going. So I think I'm going to do that. So I went ahead and I opened the digital creative kit for chapter 1, and you'll also see some other subscriber exclusive items in here too, like the journaling cards, the digital journaling cards, some letters, and you know, kind of things like that. So anything that was provided to us that's digital for chapter 1 so far is in this folder. Keep them nice and organized. So I'm trying to think of what I want my cover to look like, and right now this from the journaling card is calling out at me. So I just clicked on that just to kind of see what it looks like. And I'm going to kind of look through a little bit more. This Life is a Beautiful Mess is also really great. I'm going to delete it for now. I may want that on the inside cover perhaps. So I'm just going through here. I can tell that these are the journaling cards. This is actually, I love this title. It's just so cute. I'm a Swiftie, so referencing eras is dear to my heart right now. Okay, so let's close that, and let's see. Let's look at the digital papers. Now, I have a YouTube video that is uploading in the background on my computer, so if you see my computer lagging, that's why. Okay, so here are the digital papers, and I think my favorite one is this one here. I mean, I think it's just stunning. It's so beautiful. I love the greens and the pinks and the hints of purple. The succulents look amazing, and so do the peonies. So that is so pretty. And I'm just taking a look at other items just to see, do I want to customize this cover maybe with my name, or do I just want it plain and just want to print out a digital paper from the creative kit? Or I could go into the physical kit and avoid this whole part of Canva and just go right into laminating and use one of the papers from the Physical Paper Lovers subscriber kit to make my planner cover. So you don't have to go to the extent that I'm going to right now, but I want to because I love it, and because I can, because I have the creative kit, and also because that means I don't have to use one of the physical papers. I can save it for another project. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to decide between these two. I don't want to take too long on here. I love them both. So I don't know. Um, hmm. So let me look at this really quick. I'm just curious. So that's one of the journaling cards. I love the border around it. I just think it's so pretty. But when it comes to things like this has, in order to maintain its ratio, which means in order to make it bigger, I would have to make sure that it corresponds with the ratio, which means keeping the proportions. In other words, not stretching the width or not stretching just the height, but stretching the width and the height proportionally. So we have to make sure that we do that with Planners Anonymous art because it's important to maintain that integrity. So if I wanted to make a planner cover out of this, you can kind of see that I wouldn't be able to because it's a little short. And you don't want to take someone else's art and just stretch it here, just stretch the width. It'll distort the art, and like I said, it just compromises the integrity of the art. No artist wants to see that happen to their art. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because we won't be able to use it. Now this, on the other hand, I think, I'm just going to click on this, click on my right button on my mouse, and I'm going to say layer, and I'm going to say send to back because I want this particular image behind the one that I want to experiment with first and see how it would work out. So if I put this in the upper left hand corner and just kind of drag this right corner out, I can see that I can expand it this much. Now with this type of image, since it doesn't have a frame around it, I can make it larger like this. But as you can see, I'm maintaining the aspect ratio. I'm making sure that I'm not stretching the artwork by the width only or the height only. They are both expanding at the same time. Okay, so if I look at that, oh, wouldn't that make an incredible cover? I think that is gorgeous. So I'm looking over to the left, I'm looking over to my planner to kind of see what that would look like with the melody cover and all of that. And wow, that would be pretty magical. So that is definitely an option. Now I'm going to go ahead and right click again, and I'm going to send this layer to the back because now I want to see how the other one would look. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and I'm going to go ahead and just put it in the corner there, and I'm going to expand it. And I'm really going to have to expand it in order to fit on this page because these digital papers are a square. All right, so let's look at that. That's pretty incredible. Now, if I go this route, I think I would want to put like my name on it in a label or in another frame, just because this is so busy that I'd want to customize it with something. So if we look at with something, right, I'm just going to scroll through here and look at the digital artwork. So for example, here's a piece of washi, and I just inserted here onto my, my canvas here. So for example, I could put this right in the middle, and I could type my name in the middle, and it would have a nameplate. Now, I'm not liking the way, the way the blue looks on these pinks and green colors and purple colors, so I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And we don't want to change the color on this because that, again, that goes against the angel policy, and we're not able to modify art. That means we're not able to change colors to this artwork that we got from Planners Anonymous. So I want to make sure I make that clear. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then I can look, here's a tag, and I could possibly maybe rotate that this way by 90 degrees. And I can even have it falling off the paper like this, and maybe that could say my name, or, you know, I would probably make it a lot smaller. Let's see, what would we do? Or I could rotate it back the way it was. and maybe possibly have it hanging off the top here or kind of in the corner. Okay, so I'm not too crazy about that either, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that for now. And let's see what else we have that we could use to customize. Now, if you didn't want to put your name or anything like that, but you just wanted to break up the busyness of this paper, you could go in and, you know, just like put a make this postage stamp smaller and kind of maybe put 3 stamps together right here, or, you know, something like that, just to kind of break it up. Okay, so we have our Pantone swatches, more flowers, we have that. Just looking, and we have tickets, we have a candle. Okay, so there's probably nothing here that I really want to use because all of this is just very, very decorative. So we could try this washi strip, but no, it would just kind of blend right in, so we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Elements, and what am I going to do? Let's see. Let's first decide, do I want this one or do I want this one? Okay, so we'll continue with this. If say I wanted to use this one, but I want to personalize it or break up the art a little bit or do something like that, I can just go to Elements, and here's a square. I can just drop a square in there, right? It's red and does not match, obviously, but I could drop this in here, and I could maybe, let's say I move it right here, and then I expand it to be a band that looks like that. And then say I want to change the color, I'm going to click right here on color. And if I just picked white, it could do that. But the wonderful thing about Canva is it helps us pick colors that could complement the artwork that's already on this canvas. So if I look right here at photo colors, it is giving me various different tones of colors that are within the artwork, and I think that's pretty incredible. It makes designing a lot easier. You don't have to be a designer to design in Canva. So I could pick this lighter color here, and you can see it complements this background image very, very well, or even this green, or even this mauve-y pink color, even a darker green or something like that. But I really like this, what do they call it? Oh, they just have the code for it. Anyway, it's like a cream color, a beige color. So I really like that. I also like this really light pink. Now, it's picking up these photo colors from the image that I have hiding behind the one that you're looking at right now. So it's kind of cool because I'm also getting those various tones as well. So that pink is so pretty. I really, really, really like that. So I think I would go with something like that if I were customizing this. And you can have it fall off the sheet the way it does here, or you can just bring it in and center it and have like a nice nameplate there. Or sometimes what I like to do is maybe drag this off the right edge and then just have something like this. And then that's where I write my name. Another thing you can do is I can click on here and I can say position. Is it position? No, it's not position. It is, I'm just trying to think if I wanted to add like a shadow. I click on shape, and no, I don't think it's there. I don't think you can do it to shapes. Maybe it's just images that you can edit an image. All right, that's fine. Okay, so now if I wanted to maybe add a line around it just so it'll pop out a little bit more, I can click here on border style, and I can pick a line, and you can see it has already applied it, and I can pick the weight. I can make it thick, I can make it thin, I can do whatever I want, and then I can also do corner rounding, as you can see right there. I think that looks really cool, but we'll go ahead and leave it square, and I'll leave the border weight maybe a little bit less than 6, we'll say 3. Okay, and then if I want to change the color of that, by default it's black right now, but if I wanted to change the color, I would just click here on border color, and then I can pick something that complements it, maybe something like that. Let's see if that stands out more. Kind of, sort of. So let me see, I'm going to pick something else. I'm going to pick something darker. How about that? That looks okay. Let's see, how about white? Let's see, white. I think I would like that the best. It feels lighter, and I just like that. So if I were going to customize this for myself, this is probably how I would design it. I tend to do it this way, or I take this same rectangle and I'm gonna rotate it by 90 degrees. And I would put it right about here. And then I would extend it out and maybe do something like this. And since I have these outer sides off of the canvas, that white line is not going to show. So it's really just putting a border on the left-hand side. So, and I think that looks really pretty. And then, you know, I could write my name, or I could put 2024 or anything like that. There's a lot of things we can do. You can do that, or we could even put another image, maybe one of the patterned papers. Let's see, like maybe this one, we could put over here on this side. Let me bring it to the front. Just a second. Just messing with the layers. Is that what I want? No, that's not what I want. I want to bring it forward. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so is that the color? Yeah, that's a color. So I would put that here, and again, I would just scale it to where it would fit here. And then you can see you could use a piece of the more solid or the monotone color, digital paper as well, and kind of do that. But I would probably keep it nice and clean like this. I think it looks great. So if I wanted to put my name, I would go into a text box, and I want to add a text box, and I can go ahead and write Lisa Mendoza, because that's probably how I want to personalize it. And then perhaps I'd want to rotate it 90 degrees so that it'll fit on this banner here, and maybe I'd want to make it bigger, right? And of course, I'd want to change the font to something more complementary to the paper and the kit, just not something so plain. But I could do something like that. I could even put 2024 down here and just continue designing to my liking. But I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I think this looks great, and this is a great contender. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this pattern paper. I'm going to hold down my Shift key. I'm going to click on this piece as well, and I want to group those because I want them to stay together. So now when I move them, you can see they stay together. So I'm going to go ahead and move this to the back of my canvas because I want to also give that other piece of artwork a chance. So I'm going to send to the back. That way this one now is on top, and I can see it now. And that is just beautiful. So now with something like this, I probably would just write my name here. I wouldn't put a rectangle or anything like that because this area right here is light enough where my name will show up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to just try that. I'm going to type my name again, or even just Lisa. I don't have to put my entire name. Let's see. Now I'm going to kind of put it into this corner, and I'm going to change the font because this is just way too plain for me. So with Canva, they give you some combinations that they think you might like. And I like to go ahead and look through them because you never know, maybe something really nice. So I'm just going to kind of look here. I think this Walden is written really pretty. I think I would kind of like that. So I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this because these two texts are grouped together. That's what Canva did. So I'm going to delete this one here just so I can mess with this. So I can double click in here and I can write Lisa. And I'm very particular about my L's, so I'm really happy to see that this one is nice and loopy. I like it a lot. Okay, so now that I have my name in a beautiful script, I think it complements the artwork really nice. I'm going to highlight it, and I want to change the color. I could use black, and I think it would look really good, but I think I would rather use something within the artwork so that it matches really well. For example, this really kind of dark green. You know, something like that. I can tell it's coming from the stem here. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to move it down here. And I am going to make it smaller because it's just a little too big. Then I'm going to move it. And you can see that you can customize something really simple. This is just a matter of bringing the digital journaling card into Canva, putting it on here, and adding text. And then just, obviously changing the text attributes so that it's something that is pleasing to you, that looks good, okay? But I'm also thinking maybe a pink would look good, so I just want to experiment. So I'm going to click there again. I'm going to click on the text color, and I'm going to look at, let's see, I'm going to look at this pink. Or is this one darker? Let's see. No, that one's lighter. Okay, so I think that's so pretty. I think that's so pretty and so delicate. Look at that. I really like it. Now, I could add a stroke to my name as well, like a white stroke, so it'll come off the paper a little bit more, but I really don't think it's necessary. I probably could even add a shadow. Let's see what that would look like. So I think if I click on effects, yes, okay. This is where I can outline my text if I wanted to. I can add a neon light behind it. You can just do different things here. So if I wanted a shadow, let's say like this, you can kind of see here, let's see, whoops, you can see here that it applied a shadow. All right, so let's see some different options. So there's that. Then there's kind of a lift, which kind of brings it off the page a little bit, but I don't like the way that looks. Let's see what hollow is. That's kind of weird. I'm just looking at them. Glitch, that's kind of weird. Neon, I think that's pretty, but I don't think it complements the art as well. Or I could even curve my name. So let's take this off though. Let's say none. And I could curve my name. You can see it's just a little bit curved, but you can use this here to curve it however you'd like that. But I wouldn't. I would just leave it alone. We don't want it curved. We want to say none. And I think it looks great just like that. So I'm kind of torn between the dark brown that's in the artwork and this pink. But considering that I love pink so much, I might stick with this. So now it's really hard to choose. So if I want to see this name in the other piece of artwork too, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate it. Really easy. You just press this button right here that says duplicate. And then I'm going to send that one to the back. Okay, whoops. Let's do one more time. Layer, send to back. Okay. Now I'm going to group these two together so I'm just holding down my shift key as I select both of them, and I want to group those together because I want them to stay together. If I decide to use this pattern, I want to make sure that it's already ready to go. All I have to do is download and print it. So now I'm going to send this all the way to the back because I want to see my other option. Okay, so that looks good too. Another way you can do this too is you can, since I have both of the art pieces on one page, I can go ahead and duplicate this page. It'll create a page number 2, and I could delete that group and delete this and delete one of these. And I can have this on here and just kind of be looking at these back and forth and kind of seeing which one I like better, because then it's more of like a side by side instead of side by side. They're one above the other. So I'm going to click this again, and again I want to copy it and I want to see what it looks like on this art. Oops, I forgot they're grouped together, so I'm just going to ungroup that and then take this piece and delete it, and there I just have my name. So you could do that, and then you could even say, I could even put 2024 down here, or just leave it like that. So that's really pretty, but I'm leaning towards this one. I don't know. What would I do? Maybe I need, no, I like just the first name, but I was thinking to myself, maybe I need to see my full name. Okay, so when it does that, that just means you need to take this, double click, and you need to expand this box. So let me, let's see, let me ungroup it. That way I can grab just this text box, and as you can see, I can make it wider so that it all fits like this. And then I can, oops, sorry, it's wigging out here. I can go ahead and make this, oh my goodness. Okay, let me go like this. Let's bring it up here. Maybe that'll help. Okay, and I would want to make this smaller. So you can make it smaller by double clicking on your text and going up here to the point size and decrease it there. Or what I like to do is just take the text box and not worry about numbers and just kind of decrease it like that. Okay, so it looks like I have less space here. What happened? I'm gonna delete that for now, and I'm gonna bring it back in because I want to make sure that I did not skew the artwork. So it was a journaling card, and it's right here. So let's go ahead and click on that. I'm going to go ahead and send this to the back because I want to make sure that it does not go over my font. Okay, so let's see. Oh, it's not. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just expand this so it'll fit the width of my page, just like that. And then, all right. So I would have to make my name kind of small in text if I want it to look good here. So I think I like just Lisa better. So I'm going to go ahead and undo. I'm just going to, I'm going to click undo just a couple of times until it goes back to, and I'm right here up here, until it goes back to what I had. I'm just undoing. Okay, there we go. Now I think I'd like to move this up a little bit and have a little more light space right here, this beige space. I think I'd want to do that. Let me ungroup this again. Okay, so now I can put my name just a little bit lower, like that. Oh, I love that. I love that. I think I'm going to have to go with this. Now, because I spent the time working on this one, and actually I can kind of see that the white border is showing right here, so I'm going to want to bring this over a little bit so that it doesn't. But because I did the work on this, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here because I may want it maybe for next month's planner cover. I'm not sure. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there, just in case I want to go back to that design and tweak it a little bit and maybe use it for chapter 2, for example. And you can just go on and on and on and have 12 pages here, one for every single month. And you can just create them all at once and then, you know, create the physical cover each month, or do it all at one time and just binge craft or whatever you want. But this is what I love about Canva, is I can just go here and just keep creating. All right. So, but I think I'm going to go ahead and keep page 2. So I'm going to click, in order to download it, I'm going to click on share. Let's not do that yet. Sorry about that. I do want to create the back cover, and I want to create the insides of the cover, what's going to show when I open up my planner. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this for now. Okay, so now we're on page 3, and I have this beautiful artwork again. I'm going to go ahead and delete my name because I don't need it for the back cover. And I will go ahead and delete that as well. I'm going to grab this rectangle right here that we had made. I'm just going to copy it and I'm just going to paste it in here just as a little shortcut. Whoops, ungroup. Sorry about that. Delete that, and I just want this. Okay, so now that I have this, I want to go ahead and take off that border. We don't need a border. So I just go to line style and I just say no line at all. And that'll take that right off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in this corner and I'm going to stretch it like this. And I could use that for the back cover, or I could use that for the inside cover because the inside cover would look really, really beautiful in a pale pink. I think that'll look great for the inside cover. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create 2. So I'm going to duplicate the page because now I'm thinking, okay, I have the front of the cover, the front inside of the cover, the back inside of the cover, and then I'm just going to duplicate it again so I can have now this what I would consider the back cover. And you can even title your pages like this. Back cover, front. Oh, this is the front inside. Okay, and then this is the back inside, actually. And then this is the front inside. Okay, I'm just switching things up. I'm so sorry. Oh, this is going to end up being the back. Okay, that's the back. I'm going to change it, obviously, the design. And then the back inside. And then we have the front inside. And then we have the front. Perfect. Okay, because what's going to happen when you download these, it'll actually title them like this, which is really cool. It'll title the page front, and then front inside, and then back inside, and then back. So now with this, for the back, what you see when you flip your planner over, I don't want it to be the same color, so I want it to be different. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. I'm going to click on the color, and I want to go back to viewing all the various colors that are within the design. So I think I like this darker color better. Wow, that's actually really pretty. So that would be, let's just say that's the back cover, and then the inside, and then the front. So let's look at the front again, and the back. Okay, so I think I can view my pages. Is this? Okay, perfect. I want to see my pages like this instead, because then I can actually visualize my front cover, the inside, and then the back as well. So I just kind of want to look at that. I don't necessarily love the combination. Now I also want to remember this back cover, to be honest, is just going to be tucked into my Planners Anonymous Melody cover. So it kind of doesn't matter, but also when I archive this planner, I do take it out of the planner cover. And so in that case, it would show. So I think I want something different. So let me go ahead and change my view again. So right now it's grid view. So I want to change it back to this. And I don't want that. So, ooh, what about this? So this was a journaling card. So would I want that? Now you can see when I dragged it into this rectangle, it actually went into that rectangular frame and filled it with this graphic, which is really cool. Now that, I think, would look great. So let's take a look again. And this one's kind of bothering me because I keep seeing it. So I'm just going to hide this page. But it's still going to show it to me. Okay, but at least it's grayed out, so that helps me. Okay, so now we have the front, the back, and then the insides. I think that's really pretty. But you know, it's funny because now I feel like taking the back and putting them on the insides so I can see them when I open the planner. So, Very pretty. Now that I added that back cover, now I'm thinking something else. I'm looking at my name here on page 2, the front, and I'm thinking, do I want it to be a darker color like the darker colors that are showing on page 5 for the back? If I want to do that, now that I've brought in that image, I can click on my name, click on the font color, and it's going to bring in that splatter, that oil paint palette, so to speak. It's going to bring that in, and now I can see this darker color. And I'm wondering if I want that instead. It shows up more, but it's not as soft and elegant like the other one was. But let me look at it again, side by side. I think that might look better. And then it just brings in the back cover, the colors from the back color. So I think I like that. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with that. As you can see, you can design all day long if you wanted to. And it's fairly easy, especially once someone shows you how. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. So I'm going to know that I want to, you'll see here it says page hidden on this one, so that's kind of good. I think if I click share and download, I think it'll just, yes, luckily it just shows me the range 2 through 5 for the pages. And that's great because I just want to print those. I don't want to print this first design that I want to keep here just as a template in case I need it later. So this is perfect. Pages 2 through 5 is exactly what I want to download. And a PNG is suggested, but if I click here, and this may have different options than the free Canva version. I have an advanced, like, I don't know, like a pro, or I don't know, something like that, Canva version, because I love to use it and I want all the options. But let's see. So it says a PNG is best for complex images and illustrations. A PDF is best for documents. PDF print is best for printing. So, and a JPEG is best for sharing. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I want the PDF print. And the reason why I want the PDF print is because I want to make sure that when I print this, it prints to the exact size that I made it. So I don't want it to enlarge when I open it or shrink down when I open it, and then I have to rethink about what size my planner cover needs to be when it's printed. So I'm going to go ahead and use PDF print. Now, this is a great option too, and again, I don't know if it's available with the free version, but I'm going to mention it anyway, just because I don't really know which ones come with the free version and which ones comes with the paid version. But this crop marks and bleed could really help you. Okay, so if I click that, what's going to happen with the artwork is it's going to provide a little bit more color outside of where I'm going to cut my cover with my paper cutter. And that's just going to enable you to cut your planner cover to size without having any white on the edges. Okay, so that's really nice. It's kind of a printing term. So, and then it'll also provide some little hashes, some little lines that indicate where you need to cut your page, which is very helpful. And you'll probably see those, they're pretty common when you buy planner printables, planner stickers, you know, kind of like even Light's Planner Action, her downloads for her printable planners come with crop marks. So it just kind of helps you identify where you need to make your cuts on your paper once you've printed them. So I'm going to go ahead and download. And it's going to show my progress just right here. It's going to ask me, what do I want to name it? So I'm going to say PA Chapter 1, A5 planner cover. Okay, and I'm going to say save. Okay, and so now it's completed, and I can actually show where it is here on my computer right here, and I can open that up. Don't want to use that. No, I'll use this. Okay, so this is what I mean by the crop marks, these little marks right here. So then I can just print it, cut it down, and laminate it. So isn't that amazing? I mean, I love it. It's just amazing. So if I go ahead and I say print, okay, now it shows that I normally print on 8.5 by 11-inch paper, which is absolutely true, right? So, but I want it to print on regular paper because that's what I'm going to use. But I'm going to trim it down. Hey, sorry, I'm just recognizing something. So if I were to trim it down to 7.25 wide by 9 inches tall, that means, oh yes, what am I thinking? Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, disregard all of that. This is displaying perfectly. I don't know what I was thinking. So you can see here in the document preview that it's going to print beautifully on my letter size paper. And then I'm just going to take my paper cutter and I'm going to cut along those crop marks that are on each corner of my graphic. And it's going to be that easy. I don't even have to measure. I just follow those crop marks. And as you can see, there's page 1, page 2, which I'm going to print on the back. I'm going to do double-sided printing. And then page 3, and then on the other side is going to be this back cover. So it's perfect. What you want to make sure you do when you create something that is size specific is you want to make sure that you print it actual size. You don't want to click fit or shrink or anything like that. You want it the exact same size that you designed it. So I'm going to make sure that it says actual size. And then I'll go ahead and print. on both sides, and then I'll take it to my paper cutter and I will laminate it. And I'm wondering if you guys want to go along for that journey as well. Let me think about that. But anyway, that's how I would design a custom cover using Planners Anonymous Creative Kit and the Canva application that's available on the internet, and it's available for free. Again, if you wanted advanced options, then you would pay a monthly fee. I think I pay like $12.99 a month or something like that. For me, because I'm super duper creative and I absolutely love creating things, it makes sense for me to have the paid version. So anyway, that is all for that. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that, but I am going to print it and I am going to take it over to my laminator and do all of that. So I will be back with that part. So hang in there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye, because I made a mistake. I made my planner cover too wide. I was trying to compensate for the dividers because I want to keep them safe and not crush them. But when I put the back cover into the Melody, as tried to slide in the back cover into the Melody, it was way too wide. So I'm back because I wanted to record this portion of me correcting something so that you can maybe see how to correct something if you've made that type of mistake. So I'm looking at it and I need to trim it by, I would say, I need to make sure it is about, sorry, my ruler. I would say at the most 6¼ wide. Okay, so I'm going to go right here to resize, and I'm going to go to custom size, and I said 6¼ see, it was a ½ inch too wide, and that's a lot when it comes to the Melody. So I'm going to make sure this is 6¼ I'm going to change that. Okay, and then the height, I do want to make it a little bit shorter because I noticed, yeah, a little bit shorter because I noticed that when I tried to slide it into Melody, again, it was very tight. So I want to give myself a little more room. So instead of 8½, let me look at it. I will do, let's see, I don't want it too much different, but let's say 8¼ is the same size as, okay, so we're going to say 8.375, oops, 375. I think that will be better. And then I'm going to say continue. And I'm going to ask it to resize this design that I've already been working in because I want to make sure that I don't make this mistake again with this file. So I'm going to say resize this design. Now, say for example, I'm going to give you an example of where you would use copy and resize. Say for example, this is great for one project, but you want to go ahead and create a separate project, but you want it to be smaller. But maybe someday you'd go back to this template as well. Then you would want to copy this design into a separate file and resize it. That's when you would pick that. But I actually want to change this current one, so I'm going to go ahead and resize this design. Okay. So it's just refreshing. And so now what I'm going to want to do is, okay, so let me move that out of the way. Let me delete this because that shouldn't be there. I'll delete these two. And then I'll move this back. And then we'll deal with that another time. Okay, so I'm going to go to this. This was my design. And it looks good. So if I hover over this image, you can see that that purple outline is actually the size of the artwork. So I want a little bit more of the artwork detail. So I'm going to double click in here so that I can get these resizing options. And I'm going to go ahead and, hey, what happened? Okay, actually that worked, but that was kind of weird. Okay, I'm going to bring this in a little bit. I want to go ahead and maintain the width, even though the artwork is slightly taller. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I think that'll be good. Okay, and then let me check this back page. Oops, we have to fix this. Okay, fix this one. And what is behind here? Let's delete that and we'll fix this. Okay. So, well, let me see what this art is. Okay, so when I double click, you can see that the art is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust to get as much of that design in as I can. Perfect. Okay, I think that's good. Let me double check this. Okay, yeah, I can bring this in more. So I'm going to bring that in a little bit more. So we'll keep the height. That's good. Okay, I think we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and re-export this. I'm going to say download. I'm going to change this to PDF print, which is best for printing. I want to go ahead and include my crop marks and my bleed. Pages 2 through 5 is correct. I'm going to download, and I'm going to rename it what I previously did. Okay, so here it is. It's right here. Okay, and I'm going to override that. Okay, so I'm going to go back and print it out. I'll go ahead and do it with you. Close this. Okay, and I'm going to open it up here, and then I'm going to reprint. And all of this should be the same. I want to make sure, because I'm sending it to my printer. Rear tray, best quality. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and print that, and then I will meet you at the paper trimmer and the laminator once again. Alrighty, okay, so I've printed my covers at the right size this time, hopefully, as you can tell from the previous video clip. Okay, so I have the front cover, the inside of the back cover, and then the back cover. And then I printed an extra one of these because we're going to also build in a pocket to the inside front cover. I'm not going to do a pocket on the the inside back cover. Normally I would if I were just making covers that weren't going to be put into another planner cover. But because this particular cover is going to be put into the Planners Anonymous Melody, I don't want that back cover to be too bulky, and we're not going to be able to access the pocket anyway if it's tucked into the Melody. So I'm only going to make one, but I could have easily made two with this one print. I could have cut it in half and then have two pockets. So anyway, okay, so I want to mention just a couple of tools that I have here. I have a paper trimmer. This is a paper trimmer that I put aside exclusively for laminated covers because the lamination is really thick. These are my laminating pouches. They are 10 mil, so they're really, really thick. So these cannot go through a regular laminating machine. You would either need a commercial laminating machine in order to do this, or a Mink machine by Heidi Swapp. So the reason why I like the Mink machine is because I can foil things, because that's what it's intended for, but it also doubles as a fantastic laminator. And what I also like about it is it's got a 12-inch opening, so it's not limited to just 8.5 or letter size paper wide. You can actually put scrapbook paper in here if you wanted to. So it has multiple purposes. I really, really like it. So I have my 10 mil laminating pouches. I'll make sure to link them below. I have a Fiskars paper trimmer that I use specifically for the laminating pouches because it'll eat up my blade. I have the We Are Memory Keepers disc punch. I have a ruler. This one just happens to be by Tim Holtz. I have an X-Acto knife. I have this little tool that will help me with my pocket when I create it. It's by Creative Memories. I have a Sharpie. I have a corner rounder. And then I have the laminating machine like I mentioned, and I have a laminating pouch. It comes with the laminating sheets. And I also have another paper trimmer to trim down my prints. I don't want to use this paper trimmer because this blade has been through a lot with the lamination sheets, and it just doesn't cut paper very well, but it sure cuts laminating sheets. I don't even need to change the blade as long as I stick to laminating sheets. So I'm just going to put this aside, and I'm going to grab these, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them down. Now, as I mentioned, in Canva, I chose for them to include the crop marks. Whoops, sorry, I'm not in frame. These are the crop marks right here. And so those indicate where you're going to cut here and where you're going to cut going this way. So they're very handy. I really love automatic crop marks because then I don't have to do math. Okay, so this one here is going to be cut a little bit different for the pocket. Just a little bit different. Just the height is going to be cut different. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this. I was thinking about cutting them at the same time, but I don't think I will, because I think I'll cut the front, well, I'll cut the front cover and the pocket at the same time, because I do kind of really need them to line up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these two at the same time. And I will cut right about there, I think. Perfect. And then move those away. And then I'll go ahead and turn them like this. Oops, sorry. And then I'll cut this way. Let's see if that's about right. That's close enough. And I'm going to cut there. And then I'm going to cut here. So if you keep going around either clockwise or even counterclockwise like that, then you'll have 3 cutting marks that you can align to. And then the last one you will have to measure. And so what I'm going to do, that's why I have my measuring ruler here. And so I'm going to measure this up to this mark right here, because as you can see, I trimmed it off. So it's not going to be there anymore. So I want to go ahead and measure this so I know where to cut. And I want to cut at 8 and okay, so that's a quarter, sorry, and then it's 1.25 additional, so it is 1.8, I'm sorry, excuse me, 8.3. Okay, so I want to cut at that. So let me go ahead and do this, extend this. I have very limited space right here because I wanted to fit everything in here for you guys. I think that's fine. Okay. So I'm going to cut 8 and then a quarter and then just in here. I'll cut it like that. All right. Oops, I think I'm a little bit short because I can see the white space. Let me do 8 1/4. Oh yeah, it should have been actually right here. All right. So there is that. And again, it is my cover and then this pocket. So now I can go ahead and trim this pocket to the height that I want it to be, and I'm just going to trim it right there. And then since I cut them at the same time, these bottom cuts, you know, since we're kind of doing them by hand, a paper trimmer is not super accurate, but that is, sorry, I keep not being in frame. Then that's going to be nice and square at the bottom, and that's what I want. This is my pocket, okay? My pocket, just for the front cover. Okay, so we'll just kind of put this aside. And I have this beautiful scrap. I can use it for card making, or I can use it for anything. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside too. And then we're gonna go ahead and trim this one down. This is the back cover. Meanwhile, I should probably have my laminator on. I'm going to put it to 5 because I'm laminating very, very thick laminating sheets. So we want to make sure that it's pretty hot. Okay, so those are ready. We can put this away. Okay, and so what we're going to do next is take these and round the corners. So I'm going to use my corner rounder, and I'm going to round these corners. Just like that. By the way, I'm waiting for this red flashing light to turn green, and that'll mean it's ready to be laminated. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get a pouch ready. Okay, super thick pouch. Okay, so I can put it in here like this, but I'm actually going to put it towards the end, not this sealed part, because I want to save that as a scrap in case I'm doing a bookmark or something like that. So I'm actually going to measure it like this. I am going to take this paper cutter, which is what I use for laminating sheets, and I'm just going to cut this piece off like this and save this pouch for another project instead of wasting it and running it through. Okay. And I want to kind of be careful with this because it no longer has something keeping it together. You know, the side that's sealed. I cut that part off. So I'm going to put this into this protector, and I'm going to go ahead and feed it into my laminating machine. And as that is going, I'm going to go ahead and round the corners to this. So I'm rounding the front cover and the pocket bottom at the same time, because otherwise you could have some trouble aligning them. And so they're going to be exact because I'm doing them at the same time. That's why I like to cut them and then use the corner rounder at the same time, because you can see that's like, you know, pretty good. As close to perfect as it can get. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to get this laminating pouch ready. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to save the side. Now this is a little more risky because we have two pieces that have to stay together. So sometimes it might be worth it just to not save the piece that would be hanging off, because it's possible that it could shift, and I can feel it already. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this off. My pouch is coming out, so I'm going to go ahead and help it. Make sure it doesn't bend. Okay. All right, we'll cut that off, and we can save this piece for another project. And I want to be really careful with this. I want to try not to move it. So this is going to go through one more time, but before I do that, I'm going to put this in because I don't want it to move. I don't want to risk working in this area right here and for this to move. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into the pouch carefully. Is that? Let me see if it shifted. I feel like it did. No, I think it shifted, you guys. I can see a little bit of white right here. The camera probably is not picking it up, but I can see it. And so that means that they shifted. So, okay, let me just go like this. Yep, it's gone. Okay, so it shifted. So, yeah, this is the risk, because now I moved these lamination pieces, and so I may have a little bit of glue right here transferring onto this transfer sheet, but that's okay. That's why sometimes in instances like this, just waste the rest of the laminating pouch. Sometimes it's not worth the headache, but I'm going to go ahead and put that in there and hope for the best. But that's how we're going to laminate if we want to include a pocket on the inside cover, which is always a good idea, right? Now, the reason why I'm still holding this is because I know that pocket was pretty low in this pouch, because it's less than half a sheet, and I want to make sure it doesn't shift, so I'm just keeping this even to my tabletop so it doesn't shift. And then once it goes in there into the rollers, then I don't have to worry about it now. Okay, so meanwhile, we are going to put this back in, but meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and trim the lamination, the extra here. And we're going to go all the way around. I'm helping this other piece that's coming out of the laminating. I'm keeping it level so it doesn't bend. So, because it's pretty hot and it'll conform to that bend if you don't keep it even. So I'm just working on that. I'll put that aside on an even surface. And I'll finish cutting this. Okay. Cut, and then I'll round the corners. Now for the corners of this, since it's very, very heavy lamination, I want to keep my corner rounder on my surface, and then I'm gonna kind of pound it like that, and it'll work just fine. If you try to do it by hand, it may work, but it also may jam the punch, and I just noticed that, I mean, I've done this for so long, and this will not break. Or maybe you're stronger than me and it might break. Okay, but anyways, this is finished on the edges, but I want to put it through the lamination one more time just to make sure that it gets a really good seal. So yeah, this is kind of stuck, see, because of the lamination sheets weren't exactly one on top of the other, but that's okay. I can still use this. And we're going to put this in one more time. And then when we're doing that, we are going to cut away the excess. And you can see the pocket there. And I'll show you how we're going to open that up so it can be a usable pocket. All right, so we're going to trim this. And by the way, it stayed all lined up, so I'm really happy about that. And we're almost done. Covers are not that hard to make. You just have to have the right tools. And I'll be sure to link everything below. Oh, I did shift just a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to make sure to link what I'm using below. If I can find the links, it'll be below. Okay, done with that. I'm going to want to round the corners before I put it through one more time. But look at how pretty that is. It's just so pretty. Okay. Just waiting for this to come through. Perfect. So this one is done. And then we're going to go ahead and put this in one more time. All right. So we're done with the corner rounder, and we're done with the ruler, done with the laminating pouches, except for this last one. Then I can turn off the machine. So meanwhile, oh, this is the back cover. It doesn't have a pocket. Never mind. But this is ready to go. We just have to punch it. So we will do that soon. Do I have a template? Actually, I need a template. So while this is finishing lamination, let me grab something. My floor makes a lot of noise because I have those cushiony like gym floors, like for when you're standing a lot. This is at standing height, this particular desk. Well, actually all my desks in my craft room are, so I can either sit or stand. And so I have them on the floors just so that everything is nice and cozy. But I always wonder if you guys can hear when I walk around, if you can hear my bare feet squeaking on them. Okay, so we're done. We can turn this off. I also wanted to mention something about this. So this machine, this Mink machine, it's incredible. But I wanted to, if you are on the market and if you do want to buy one, or even if you have one already, I really recommend that you put these, I have these felt like furniture leg preserver type thing for your floors, and I stacked 3 of them here because I really feel like the machine needs to be elevated a little bit because the heat kind of comes out of these vents and it can damage your workspace. And I feel like the machine really requires more room for that heat coming out. You know what I mean? I don't want it to get too hot. So kind of dual purposes, but I really recommend elevating your machine a little bit like that. Okay. So we'll put that aside. So pretty. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I mean, look at that. That is so pretty. The print quality is amazing. Oh, I didn't round the corners here. And you can definitely do it after lamination. It doesn't really matter. So let's round these. Perfect. Now, before I go forward, I want to make sure this is going to fit inside the melody because my previous version didn't. And I'm hoping that this will. God, that's pretty. Look at that. Look at that back cover inside. Oh my gosh, that's so gorgeous. Okay, so let's see. I have the melody right here. And I just want to see if this is going to fit in. Ah, much better. Yes. Much better. Okay, I think that's going to be fine. It's tight, but it's much better than the last cover I made. Okay, so now let's open up this pocket. And the way you do that, oh, we are going to use the ruler again. Okay. The way you do that is you grab your ruler. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. And you just want to put a ruler just by where you're going to create the opening for your pocket. So sometimes I like to turn it like this because I can kind of see the contrast a little bit better. Okay, so I want to cut right around there, maybe a little bit lower. Right around there. Now, when you cut with an X-Acto, especially if your blade is brand new, you don't want to put too much force because you'll cut through to the other side. And even if you don't sever it, you will create a cut mark on the front of your printed planner page. So you don't want to do that. You want to be careful. You want to just apply some light pressure that will just open up that pocket, not cut all the way through. Okay, so I just applied light pressure and then I check it and see if it broke the seal, and it didn't. But I also use this tool to try and force the break of the seal because I do have a score mark there. And so I just bend this ever so carefully. I can kind of hear it. And I try to kind of wedge this little part of this tool in here to see if I can break the seal, but I can't, so I'm going to have to do it one more time and hope that I get it in the exact same space, in the exact same place. Okay, so we're going to try this one more time. With just a tad more pressure. Oops, it moved, but I think it'll be okay. It looks like I created 2 lines. It's not really going to matter, but that one didn't go through either. And then I've also done it before where I don't even use a ruler. Okay, hopefully I didn't cut through. No, I didn't. Okay. Oh, there we go. So sometimes it'll open like this, and then sometimes it's a little harder to open, and I'll get like a little piece open right here, and then I'll just slide this across and it'll open really easy. So now we have a beautiful pocket there. I love it. It's just so, so pretty, so glossy, so gorgeous. I love this. Okay, so we have the back and we have the front. And so now we just have to cut the holes. So you could use, well, you can't. You would probably think you could use an arc punch or something like that, something heavy duty that you can get through the disc punch through this thickness of laminating sheets. I mean, this is really, really thick. But what happens when you do that is these covers are a little bit taller than your regular planner paper that's going to go inside your planner. And so because of that, sometimes the punch will actually create a little cut right here from the punch disc that's right next to this last one. You know, it'll kind of get in the way and you'll get a little cut right there, and you don't want that. And so what I do is I just manually cut with or punch the holes with this We Are Memory Keepers disc punch. It's just much easier. And so what I do is I grab a Sharpie or a marker or a writing pen, and I will go ahead and align this where I want the holes. And it's kind of easy to do because you're, you know, you can just kind of eyeball it. You don't have to exact measure it. I do that, and then I take a marker And just have a designated scrap sheet of paper to always use because you're going to mark it up a little bit. And what I do is I just mark the first two. It can be on any side, but the first two. That's all you will need to mark, okay? Actually, you really only just need to mark the second one, the second to the last, or the second one from the top, whichever one you want. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do that here as well. I'll show you when I just do one. So I'm either going to do this one, or I'm going to do this one, okay? And you can mark them all if you want to, but I just do one or two, just like that. And then I'm going to take my punch. Now, to punch my planner pages, because these are printables from Lights Planner Action, I use an arc punch, which is a heavier duty punch than a Happy Planner punch. We'll use that as an example. And so this mushroom shape is shorter in an arc punch than it is on a Happy Planner punch, or even on this We Are Memory Keepers punch. You can kind of see, I'll turn it this way. So this little mushroom shape and this right here, this little mushroom shape, you see that one has a longer stem than the other. You see that? So I want to make sure that I don't insert my cover all the way into this guide because I don't want long stems. I want short stems to match my planner paper. So what I'm going to do is this one that we marked, I'm going to line that up with this guide right here. I'm going to line the stem. That's why I marked the stem, not the top of the mushroom. So I'm going to line this up here and I'm going to punch. Okay, perfect. Okay, so then I can turn it over and I can use this as a guide and I can go ahead and continue to punch all the way across. And see, it punches through even this pocket just really nicely. It's just really, really nice. Okay, so I'm going to punch all the way. Remember I eyeballed this pocket? I'm really glad that the opening of the pocket isn't like where there's a punch right there. So I should have been more careful, but I got lucky. Perfect. Okay, so we are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and sometimes I find it easier to tuck this into the back of a planner cover before you put the discs on it. It's just easier because you're not messing with the rest of your planner or anything like that. So do I want this in the first one or do I want it in the second one? I guess in the second one. Okay, so this is much easier. So changing that design really helped. Okay. Looks like the top has a little bit to go. There we go. That looks good. Okay. Let me grab the rest of my planner. So I know I said I'm probably going to change my planner cover every month, but this is so gorgeous that I just may not. I take that back. I might not do that. Okay. Oh, look at that. This looks silly, I know, but I just wanted you to know that this works. You could even take a paper clip and put it in there, whatever you would like. And then we're going to go ahead and attach the back here to our back cover that is tucked into our planner. These discs look so pretty. I mean, these are my colors. Okay, perfect. Let's see how that works. Oh, and then it says my name. That is so, look at this. Look at this planner cover. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I mean, you can't see the back really, but you can see a little bit. But oh my gosh, it is perfect. it's perfect. It's perfect. Here's my plans for this week. Oh my gosh. You guys, look. Okay, so I think we're good. I'm like, where's my paper clip? But there it is. I want it here. I like it here because when I open my planner, I can see it. It just looks so pretty. Wow, that came out incredible. I love the pocket. All right, well, thanks for coming along this journey with me. I appreciate it so much. I hope you like this video, and I will see you in the next one. If you have any questions, just ask me below, and I'll be sure to get back to them. Thank you so much. Bye.